You're listening to the Business and Life Podcast, where 7 days a week, proven entrepreneurs share their success stories, failures, and give you true value on how you can build a great business and an awesome life. With your host, Mike Olivas.
Let's get shaken today, guys. We're chatting with Greg Centineo. Greg is a personal and business strategist. He is the Chief Inspirational Officer of Greg Centineo, Inc., where he brings revitalized energy to individuals, companies, and projects with his seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or a combination of all. All right, Greg, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Good to be with you.
Absolutely. So tell our listeners something interesting about yourself and also where you're calling in from today, Greg.
I am in South Florida, Palm Beach area, Boca Raton, Del Rey area.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your company, what kind of value it brings to the marketplace.
Well, our company, Greg Centineo, Inc., is a company that really looks to deliver value to leaders, entrepreneurs, CEOs, companies that are trying to scale themselves out, or basically, help them fulfill what their goals and aspirations and dreams are.
Awesome. So are you focused on the business, like the business coaching side?
We are focused on both because you can't have business without personal. So it's
That's
all
right.
If you're an ass as a person, then you're an ass in business. So
yeah,
it's all together, my man.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's kind of the angle that I talk about with the business and life being together here, right? So you're I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like it, Greg. So give me a time where. Well, first of all, how long have you been in business?
I've been an entrepreneur, I would say, a good portion of my life, at least over the last 25 to 30 years. So I've been in many different industries, succeeded in industries, started usually at the bottom and worked my way up, which really helped me in what I'm doing now, which is really understanding how to, not necessarily fast track, but how to expedite what you're doing through what I would call great teams, building great teams, leadership, the ability to execute, understand goals and strategy, and more important than anything, Mike, was understanding your why. Yeah,
no, I absolutely agree. Do you feel like a lot of business, and I do some business coaching, a lot of it's business and life coaching when it comes down to it, but when it comes to the why, you're definitely right on there. Do you feel like a lot of small businesses and or just businesses and entrepreneurs in general forget that after a few years and get so tied up? I've noticed it, but I'm wondering if you have the same experience, get tied up in the day-to-day, and they forget if there's an exit strategy or if they want one or all that kind of jazz that obviously comes into it. But do you feel that that's part of the barrier?
Man, that's a great point, Mike. It is. I think it's an issue in most companies, believe it or not, that are looking to scale or aren't getting efficient work out of their teams. And it's more, the reason is they forgot the why. The leaders don't talk about the why. The employees don't know about the why. I'll give you a perfect case in point on a large company, Starbucks. I walk into Starbucks today and I'm looking at baristas and employees and they just don't look happy. They don't look like they're stoked about being there. That they don't get it. And I'll always ask the question. I look at them, I go, "Hey man, having a good day?" And they go, "Yeah, okay." And I go, "Hey, did you ever read the book Pour Your Heart Into It?" And they go, "No, what is that?" I go, "That's Howard Schultz's first book 30 years ago on how this all happened." No, we read Onward, or I was supposed to read Onward, which was the one he put out in late 2000. Right. And so they don't understand. I said, if you really understood how you got here and what this is all about, man, it's you pour your heart into it. So companies lose it, and as time goes on, again, it's not about tradition. It's just about understanding who you are. That starts in the beginning, who you are today, how you got here. And I think that's what drives people. People want to be part of something. They want meaning in their life. They don't want to show up and just make a latte. They want to understand why they're making that latte. What does it mean to the ethos of the company and to the customers that walk in? So I think that's so important, to have people hungry for something more than a task, hungry for something more than money. Because I know everyone thinks people are driven by money, and some are, but most aren't. They're driven by, I want to be part of something. I want meaning in my life.
Greg, what kind of advice would you give to like a entrepreneur and or struggling entrepreneur right now who's struggling with how to find their why?
Well, if you're an entrepreneur right now, you don't know your why. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge issue, and it gets philosophical, right? You have to back up, forget about the entrepreneurism, forget about the word, and just back up and say, what do you want to do? What do you want to be today? What do you want to become? That's where it all begins. They're like, I'm not an entrepreneur. There's no better way. They tag me as an entrepreneur because that's a tag, right? But I am probably just authentically me. I do it the way I want to do it. I don't call myself a coach. I'm not an advisor because I don't do it that way. I'm different, right? I'm distinct. I know that my why in life, the deeper ethos for me is I love helping people. So once I understood that 30 years ago, then I realized that that's going to be my first order of business. Now, how can I make money at the same time, right? That's the genius of the and, A and D, doing both, making money and helping people. The mistake I made in the beginning, I went into ministry, back in 1991, because I thought I got to help people, so I got to be poor and help people.
Yeah.
No, because that's only half of the equation, because most people need help with money. So if I'm poor, what am I helping them? We're happily miserable. That's what happens, right? Yeah. So I realized, man, no, I have to learn how to make money at what I do, and so that's kind of what I did. So you have to find your why, man. So whatever it is that you want to be or how you want to do it, I think, and Mike, that's important too. The why, it's not just what you're doing or why you're doing it, it's how you do it.
Yeah.
How do you want to do your life? How do you do life? I have 3 questions that I ask in any company that calls me or any individual that says, hey, can you help me? And I go, yeah. I look at the first thing I do is I really interview this person. They don't even know it's an interview. It's weeks of interviewing to see if I even like them and like their people. Because if I don't, I'm not doing it. That's a specific preference for me.
Yeah.
So that my life looks and feels this great way that I love who I work with. Number 2, if I do like them, then I look at what's their product. What are they selling? And can I believe in that product too? And then thirdly, can I make money? And those are the 3, that's the criteria I use in that order. Now, I'm not saying that's the only order. Some people's order is, can I make money in this? What's the product? And do I like you?
Right. Right. People qualify differently, but I think you're qualifying for who you're spending time with. And if that's what your life is, you're absolutely right. I'm the same way, Greg. And I think that, are we blessed to be able to do that? Yes. Right. And I'm very thankful. I'm not, obviously you are as well, because you're able to pick and choose who you spend your time with and where you make your money and how you work, if you will. Right. And that's really, really important for, I think, advisors, coaches, consultants that are listening, and those that are looking to get advisors, coaches, and consultants. I mean, that's important, because if they're just taking everybody on, it's a money game for that person. It's a no-brainer for that. I can't, nor will I, take everybody on personally, and I know Greg's in the same boat, because I think that's the same idea. It's like, one, we have other companies, other ideas, other ventures going on, and at the end of the day, it is important to be able to, one, know that you can help somebody, right? I think that's important, because if you can't deliver and feel like you can deliver, then maybe it's not the best fit for everyone's benefit, I think. And so I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that for sure. Give me a time where you felt you were close to rock bottom, or kind of close there, I guess, or going over a hurdle, Greg, that you had to kind of overcome in your entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, man, I never went bankrupt. I never went broke. But I came close. I mean, it was back in like 2003. I think the checking account, which was the only account, was down to about $67. My kids were 5 and 6, and I'd walk home and into the house, open the refrigerator, and there was milk in there. And I said, all right, we got milk, so we're good. That was the lowest point for me. And it wasn't just the money. It was the lowest point because I was also now trapped in a situation, right? I had launched a coffee franchise in 2001. And then 9/11 hit about 6 months after we opened, and we started to feel the effects a year after we opened. So, business dropped quickly, and no tourism in Fort Lauderdale, and and so I was dumping a lot of money into it and so forth. And now I felt trapped. I had no money, working for tips just to get by.
Yeah.
And being miserable. It wasn't the money that bothered me. It was being miserable every day to going in because I felt like I had to do this. What's my way out? That was rock bottom. And I remember thinking that, Mike, that there was no way out. From, I was 36, 37. I'm thinking there's just no way. Where am I going from here now?
Yeah.
So that was rock bottom.
We're going to dive into our guests' experiences in business and life after this quick message. Life Nation, are you struggling with growing your business and hitting goals? Or are you over the 9-to-5 grind, finally ready to take the dive into entrepreneurship? What are you waiting for? Go to michaelolivas.com to set up a free, no obligation coaching call today. That's MIKEOLIVAS.com. I can help you. It may be the best call you've ever made.
How did you overcome it? How'd you get through it?
Man, little steps, little
baby steps, right? Yeah.
Steps, man. It was baby steps. I remember some guy that I knew who was a minister at the time came in, and he had a shrinking church in Boca Raton, and he knew I was kind of disruptive in my approach to everything, including ministry, and he said, I need you. And I go, dude, I said, I'm not jumping back in the church, man. He goes, no, but I need you. I go, nah, I said it. And he just came in every day to the coffee shop, and he said, I know this would be great. We could be great partners in this. Your way of seeing things and dealing with people is great, And then I said, all right. And so my partner ran the coffee shop. I did a 5-month role in the church with him, and he couldn't handle it. So he fired me after 5 months, but he was paying me $60,000 a year. So I was making $5,000 a month with benefits so that was like my little island in the middle of the Pacific where I was drowning. And now I was on this island for 5 months, kind of recouped, got healthy, got the dentist, kids in the dentist, got some technology upgrades. And now I was able to think a little bit. I go, what's next? Not the church. I go, but and then my next move. And my next move was one of the biggest moves of my life. And that was the largest turning point financially, professionally that I experienced to date. And it was right around the corner.
Yeah. And what's wild about that, that so many business owners, it's hard to see that when it's so cloudy, right? When that's happening. And I want to just remind everyone that's listening that that's the absolute norm. That is the norm for many times. Your message is going to become the message. We talk about that a lot on the show where, shit hits the fan. It's bound to happen. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. And it's so foggy. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see through that fog, like Greg did here, to realize that it was right around the corner. And you don't know it, but it really, I don't know. You can call it faith. You can call it whatever you want to, but it is there. Like you'll see when you climb through it and you get through the fog that, oh, that's why it happened, right? And you learn from it and you grow from it. And I love to hear that story. So thank you for sharing that, by the way, Greg. Why do you think a lot of you have clients obviously that are entrepreneurs and business owners and also trying to get through the business and life world, but why do you think a lot of them out there just fail? Because there's a lot.
There's a lot. And, I think everyone has to understand that failure is a major part of your life.
Sure.
And, I don't look at failure the same way that most people look at failure. I need failure in my life because that's the major ingredient to success. So if you fail and stop, you failed.
Right.
If you fail and keep trying, you haven't failed yet. Right. So
that's right.
It's tenacity, right? To be tenacious. And that's why the why is so important in your life. That when we did that big project out of Hollywood, a big animation film, which we raised $122 million during the recession to launch an independent animation film.
Wow.
And, and that's an oxymoron when you say independent animation, because independents don't make animation. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Like Disney and Pixar, DreamWorks, they're the ones that make animation. But I remember I didn't believe that we'd be successful. I did not believe it. Like I would even tell investors, you're going to lose your money, man. You come into this, you're losing your money. Well, what do you, I go, but it's a great opportunity. They go, how's it a great opportunity if I'm going to lose my money? I go, well, when's the last time Disney called you and said, put money in Mulan or Lion King? They haven't, and they won't. And it's $1 trillion industry. And you'll never, it's not like we're doing taco trucks. Nothing wrong with taco trucks, but you're not going to make $1 million in taco trucks, right?
Right.
You get in the animation industry, you got a serious chance of making some serious money. So therefore, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. But realistically, we're not going to do this. It's an arduous climb. We'll fail halfway up, I guarantee you. So they would go, that's interesting. And they'd say, well, why should I do it? I go, in case we do succeed, but I don't think we will. Now, my point was, my belief wasn't in, we're going to do this. We're going to get this done. No, that's stupid. That's completely stupid. My belief was in, I need to try. And I was resolute about trying, not succeeding or failing. My opinion was we'd fail, but I don't care what my opinion is. It didn't matter. It was the future. So I can't prophesy the future. My responsibility is to believe in the moment. And the moment I believe, my life needs to be committed to making this work.
Right.
Win or lose. And that's the power of belief, and that's the power of tenacity. So when somebody said, well, I don't think you're going to succeed, I said, neither do I. I just told you that. So it didn't discourage me. So I think that power of really understanding your why and where that belief is has nothing to do with failure or success. And that's the key. I mean, I don't do things to win or lose. I want to win. I do things because I believe I should be doing it at the moment. And therefore, if it doesn't work, I don't know why. I did everything I could. So I'm not a failure. It failed. But I did everything I could to succeed. And therefore, think about baseball, NBA, hockey. They lose the majority of games, most of these teams. 500 is a good record. Yeah. 7 out of 10 games is a great record, but they lose, man. So if you, as an entrepreneur, if you give up and you just stop, then you don't understand your belief.
No, I definitely agree with that. Is there something within your industry and your world right now that you're really excited about? Oh
yeah, man. Like I don't just advise or get involved with help companies. I'm in companies. Hands-on. So I'm not like a professor who teaches what I couldn't do. I'm doing it every day and then educate what I'm learning, whether it's social media. So yeah, we're excited. We're doing, we have working with a big boutique animation studio right now, scaling them out. We just scaled them into Canada for tax credits, and these guys did Mary Poppins for Disney, and now we're launching them into their own original content. We're going to be working with Netflix, Amazon, some other studios. We have a total of about 7 original pieces that we're working on, equivalent to about $750 million in budget for those films. We have about 9 live action films that I'm doing with another production company, which is really cool, and really some sick content. And I'm thrilled because I'm in the world of content now. Like, it's no more real estate. Like I was heavy in real estate back in the 90s and 2000s. No more, man. It's like content. It's about intellectual property, ownership of content, right?
Sure.
Because there's such a need for not just content, but premium content, right? The Netflix, the Amazons, and so forth. They need good content. So we're in the content business now, man. We're working with producers and writers, directors, filmmakers to create premium content, man.
I love it.
And own it with,
of course, right,
and so forth. So yeah, I'm thrilled about that because it's exciting, man. It's like the Wild West, Mike. No, even Jeffrey Katzenberg, when he sold DreamWorks, he's doing something called Quigley now, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not going back to studios because that's old school. Those studios are irrelevant. So he's figuring out content and how to disperse content, and he's doing it through the phone. And he doesn't know. He's figuring it out as he goes. So it's the first time, I believe, in our country's history that we really are in a Wild West. We're in an industry that even the experts who were experts like Katzenberg don't know what they're doing. And have to
what's next? Yeah, it's really a what's next situation. You're right.
So I'm so stoked, man. Every day I'm up and working, building teams to get this done and figure it out and so forth.
Out of all your successes and failures, Greg, what in entrepreneurialism here, what would you give a piece of parting advice to our listeners today that are entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs?
I've had fun in everything that I've done, whether it failed or succeeded, man. It was at that point, it was the time of my life. And man, life is about that. It's really loving what you do, enjoying your life. And that's not an accident. Like I love what you said before, we're blessed. People used to say all the time, man, you're so lucky. And I go, lucky? What do you mean lucky? This is a design. I design, I'm an architect of my life. So
Yeah.
if you're an entrepreneur, man, do what you love with the people you love doing it with. And I've made money, man, doing that way. And I've enjoyed every moment of what I've done, win or lose. And right now I'm having the time of my life again. And I have no idea what the outcomes are going to be. I don't really care. If I die tomorrow, I'm dying happy.
Where can people learn more about you and what you might be able to help them with in terms of the entrepreneurs listening today?
So my website is being rebuilt as we speak, but everything is my name. So gregcentineo.com is the website. If you go there, you'll see it's under construction, but you can hit me on Instagram at Greg Centineo, Centineo. And yes, for the listeners out there, yes, I am Noah Centineo's dad. So, but you can hit me there, or you can reach out to Julie at gregcentineo.com. She is the director of inspirational development for our company. That's probably the best way to.
Awesome. Well, hey, Greg, I really appreciate your time and dropping the knowledge bombs with the business and life peeps out there today.
Thank you, brother. All the best to you, man.
Life Nation, you got to remember that in order for things to change, you must change. And in order for things to get better, you must get better. You just got better by hanging out with me, Michael Liebus, and the Business and Life Nation. So come back tomorrow because I'm here dropping sound bombs 7 days a week, baby. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so you can take action and execute. See you tomorrow.